One common phrase I've heard growing up is don't judge a book by its cover. And I've heard it so many times. But do you know the truth is, if you're going to write a book, people will judge your book before they read it. Yep. They will judge your book before they read it. Why? Because your design will determine whether they open it or not. So when you are writing a book, you might want to look at the aspect of people judging the book before they actually read it. Because your design for your exterior is what will attract the person to buy a book in the first place. So design is beautiful and publishing is also necessary. So when you're designing and publishing your book, this will determine how your book is received in the market. You want to get your book out there, you must study the act of designing a good book and publishing it well to the market. Because a well designed book will always attract attention. It will communicate value, but it will also position you professionally. And publishing strategically will ensure that your book not just only reach the right audience, but it also performs effectively. So I want you to understand that writing, editing, research, all of that are good, but it now comes to the most important thing: the cover of your book. And for us to talk about design, I think there are two aspects of design that I have to explain to you so you fully understand what design is and why design is necessary. Even when someone buys the book, the design of the book needs to be good. So there are two types of design: there is interior design and there's exterior design. So this your book must have these two key parts. The reason is because when you're designing the book, you must think of the interior, which is the inside of the book, and then the exterior, which is the outside of the book. So the interior of the book, it consists of the layout of the book. So for example, the margin, the way you're writing the book, is it in the middle, is it centralized, is it aligned, how is the book written, and then the formatting of the book. When you look at the formatting of the book, is the book done properly? Does it look okay? You know, I always say that um, if you're using, let's say, a certain font, the same thing you're going to use throughout the book, but also not just also that does it look beautiful? Can someone read the book and be like, "Wow, I want to read more"? Do you lure them to the next chapter? Does it push them to want to find out more? The design, did you put, how it looks, and then the readability of the book, right? Is it just all one long text, or do you break them into paragraphs? This is very necessary when you're designing a book. Now, for some people, they can even put images or even a certain kind of font that looks calligraphic. This is all where you do the work to make the interior look amazing. If you're using colors, how is the color created? What color do you use? Does it match the font of what's happening outside? These are all the aspects in designing your interior of your book. Now, when you've discovered and you've done the design for the interior, you then want to focus on the exterior of your book. The exterior is basically your book cover. Your book cover, oh my goodness, is the one thing that people will first see when they want to buy the book. So it's the title. What is the title of your book? Let's say, for example, actually one of our students, when she was writing a book about healing, it was more like a combination of her story and then tips and transformational tips to help you heal and become whole. And she was thinking about a topic like, what other way? And this client of mine, she did a one-on-one service with me, which is one of our premium services that we do. It's not yet out yet, but it's an exclusive one-on-one. And when she was trying to figure out how to do it, she was like, I feel like I have to have a title that grabs your attention, that tells you the message of the book before you even write the book. And then we came up with Lost But Then Found, which is out on Amazon. Go check it out. It's on there. Type in Lost But Then Found, and then you're gonna find it, right? And then by Mine Ibunu. And then we were like, okay, how can we then show, because she's like, I want it to be about revealing myself to the world. And then, oh my God, the book cover of that book is so appealing that you want to pick up the book and read it. This is the perks of working with me one on one, is that we help you in the design. But to not go too further into that, when I saw the book for the first time, I was like, wow, I will see this book and I'll pick it up. Why? Because it was visually appealing. There was something about the book that drew me to the book. There's something about the title that made me want to pick up the book. There's something about the entire cover that just spoke to me. So depending on the audience that you're trying to target, you need to figure out what ways that you can be able to appeal to them visually, to take a string on their emotions a little bit, to make them say, wow, I wanna buy that book. Whether it's you're talking about peace and then you create a beach and a serene place, or you talk about healing, or you talk about yourself and you put a nice picture of yourself, whatever it is that you're writing about, you need to make sure that your book cover is amazing, because both must align with your message. It is important that when you're designing, you design an amazing book. So those are the two types of design. And then you create this nice cover, and you know it, it looks amazing. The front cover looks good, beautiful, 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 beautiful. But then the message behind your cover is weak. Now, every book has the front and the back, and I'll show you one so you can understand what I'm saying, because in this place we're very practical. You see this book right here? It's called Spirit, the Releasing the Spirit of Prophecy. And it's a very nice cover because it looks like fire and it looks like water. So when I see this, it brings serenity, but it also talks about the Holy Spirit for me. Now, this is a good book by Bill Johnson. Very nice book. But you see, this book captivated me, and that's good. But sometimes this is not enough. The back of the book is where work needs to be done. Now, the back of your book is what I always call, this is the header. This word here has to be so captivating that it speaks to the audience. This is your blurb, right? The blurb talks about the problem, the solution, and the transformation. And then you have the author's bio, and then the publisher, if you're using one, and then space for the barcode. This is how every back cover looks like. I'm going to leave it for you so you see it. This is how every cover of the back looks like. And when you're doing the message behind the back, that's you're writing the blurb. I told you that it must have the beautiful header that communicates. For this book, it says, tell your story to everyone and release the power of Jesus. This is such an activating message. But then the blurb then tells us about the problem. That's the problem that the person or the reader is going through, the solution, and that your book is going to create, and then the transformation they will get when they read your book. This is so important because the first thing people read is they look at this and they read this. So this, I always say, is your ad. This is your marketing tool. This is your salesperson. Your blurb is your sales person. And when you're writing your blurb, it has to speak to the emotions of your readers, because clarity increases attraction. Not everybody is only going to be drawn by the cover. It might draw them to come pick up the book, but the next place they're checking is your blurb. So you need to make sure that when you're writing a blurb, it is phenomenal, it is clear, and it speaks on the three areas: their problems they're going through, the solution your book brings, and the transformation they will go through when they get your book. Any kind of book should have this, whether it's fiction, whether it's self-help, whether it's educational, whether it's bibliography, whatever it is, biography, I mean, memoir, whatever. Your book must have a breathtaking blurb that speaks about the message behind the book itself. And then when you've done that, you then create the captivating cover. Some people cover is just simple, some are nice, some are captivating. But I always say that you should have a very strong cover. And now, what makes a strong cover? I'm going to show you with this, right? A strong cover consists of the three things. It consists of a clear title, engaging design, and an audience focused messaging. So, for example, for this book, the title is Releasing the Spirit of Prophecy. That is very clear title. So we know that we're talking about prophecy and that prophecy has a spirit. It's very simple. And then it says that it is the supernatural power of testimonies. He went further to add a testimonial in the front to show the people that are reading that other people have been transformed by this book. Every book you see that sells well, they know the structure of book design, because this is the very thing that attracts people to your book. This is just an example of a book I'm just showing you. There are many other books depending on your book. This is a biblical book, so it looks like this. But if I see it, my mind goes straight to fire and the water, which is the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is symbolized with fire, water, and purity. So for me, my interpretation when I saw this was purity, water, fire. So that was basically what it is. So the purity, the white represent peace for me. The water represents cleansing, and the fire represents refining. So I understood that this is the way, especially when you're in the prophetic, these are the things that you will go through. God will teach you to be consecrated, and so much more. I'm not going to go into what it's about. But you see, the message of the book is clear, even down to the design. It is so clear that it speaks to you. It draws you to the book. It drew me to the book because it talked about prophecy, and I knew about a little bit about it. So the blue drew me. The yellow, orangey, fire looking thing drew me. It drew me, and the white in the middle was so subtle that it just shows you the three components and elements with the Holy Spirit, something like that. So you see, this is just an example of a book. So every book must have a captivating cover, and the cover must have a clear title, an engaging design, and then an audience focused messaging where it's focused on what the people want. Many people obviously are working in the prophetic and they want to probably release the spirit of prophecy. So it's solving a problem. So your cover should immediately speak to your reader. That's the concept of book design. Very, very important. Now, when you understand that, you then want to understand your target audience. This is very needed if you're going to publish a good book, because your design must reflect who the book is for. Meaning, the people that need this exact book. The book must also reflect what they need. This, and then it must reflect what they are searching for. So if your book or design does not encompass these three aspects of who the book is for, what they need, and what they are searching for, then you're not going to have a good book. If I'm going to be writing a children's book, I'm not going to be drawing a cover that looks so serious. No, I'll make it speak to the childlike part of that child. That's just how it is. The creative aspect, the imaginative aspect of that child. That's what I'm speaking to. So your book must always, whenever you are writing a book, always think of these three things with your target audience and the targeted readers, the people that are meant to read your book. Is that who is it for? What do they need? And then what are they searching for? Meaning the solution. And make sure that everything is audience centered. It's not only about you, it's about the people that need that book. So these are few tips. I talk about a lot of this in our course, the bookmaker. If you want to know more about it, the course is down below the link, and this course will help you. But if you're just starting and you just want to know a little bit about writing books, we have a free guidebook called the Bookmaker Guidebook. um so you can go on there. The link is also down below in the description, and then download a copy and just see how we structure things a bit, so you can be able to start yourself up when you're writing the book. And most importantly with publishing is that you want to publish with strategy. Now, I always say you can publish with KDP and AI. Reason is because it will help a lot, and you have to ensure that you're publishing effectively, whereby you're using the right keywords is necessary when you're publishing your book. You also want to choose the correct category. So when you're publishing with KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing by Amazon, I always say to start here, and then eventually, if you want to use a private, or you want to use a publishing firm, you can go ahead. But I always say start with self-publishing, so you have an understanding of how the publishing firm and the publishing industry works. But also, I want you to learn about keywords, how to use keywords, the kind of keywords are needed to draw people to your book. Then you want to choose the correct categories. The categories will basically segment your book so that people can find your book easily. And then you want to automate descriptions. When you're writing your description of a book, it's something as similar as the blurb, speaking on the problem and the solution, and then the transformation that you're going to get from that book. Now, why do you need AI? AI is necessary because it will help you identify the keywords. So all you have to do is paste your blueprint or maybe an introduction from your book and the title of your book, and then it can ask you to create keywords for Amazon KDP. And then also AI is good to analyze audience behavior. So you can ask AI to research the market. This is the book you want to create. What kind of keywords will speak to people, and what kind of cover will attract them? And then also AI will help you improve your position on platforms like Amazon KDP, because they have understood they can go into the platform and then draw the information from people's search engines, how people search for things. It can extract that, and then you can be able to create a keyword that speaks to those people. So I say this to say that writing a book is good, is necessary, but at the same time, it takes strategy. And that is one aspect that people often miss, is that it takes strategy and it takes action. You can have a strategy and still not do anything about it, and you will not get the result that you need. So these are a few things I'll ask you to do today. I want you to study a successful book cover in your niche. Find anyone that's including your niche. If you don't know, ask, go to chat or any AI that you're using. Tell it to type in the kind of book you want to write, and tell it to recommend the best successful book covers in that niche, and it will show you that. Then I want you to define your audience clearly. If you're writing a book about healing, you know that this is your audience are people that have been broken or they've gone through trauma. So depending on the kind of book you're writing, that will determine the kind of audience that you expect to read your book. You then want to use AI to research keywords and categories. This is necessary. I've done this with all my books. Saved me a lot of time, but also has shown me how to get to the right audience at the right time. And then you want to ensure that your design reflects your message. Don't just write a design because you feel like it. No. Make sure there's a design that speaks to the people. And I hope that this was helpful to you. And I'll see you guys later for more tips. Bye for now.